What is up, YouTube? Jamos here. And usually when people buy phones, it's typically an emergency situation, like if their phone gets broken, screen's cracked and it can't turn on, or in most cases, water damage where the phone can no longer turn on and they have to resort to data recovery. More than likely, they will buy a phone that they need right now and they don't have time to research or wait. So in this video, we're going to go over iPhones you should not buy if that does happen to you. So right off the rip, I have as many iPhone boxes with the exception of the 11. This is replacing the 11. So as 10S, 10R, 11, 12. 13 and 14 are pretty much the same. So I have the 13 here and the 15. So right off the rip, if you need to get a phone and budget's not an issue, the 15 and the 14 series is a no-brainer. If you don't care about money or whatever, and you just want a phone that works and is, of course, up to date, the 15 or 14 series, even the 13 here, is a good buy because these are going to be around for a while. They're capable phones. So these phones are a given. You have many years left of them. So as I was mentioning, these three phones here, the 15, 14, and 13, and the 12 are all a good buy. So go ahead and buy them if you want to. The difference really is just money. You know, the 12 is going to be cheaper because it's older, but it's still capable. The 13's slightly newer. It's the same as the 12 pretty much, just a little bit faster. And of course, the most money is going to be on the 15 and the 14. They're the most up to date, with the 15 being obviously the latest model. So definitely a buy. So if you want to go ahead and just buy that, then you don't need to watch this video anymore. But for those that don't really care about the up to date, they just need a phone that works, these three models here are the ones you need to watch out for. I know it's tempting to save money, but as I mentioned, this phone is replacing the 11 because I don't have an 11, but let's pretend this is the 11. This is your best chance of getting a phone that will last you the longest. But even then, this phone is at risk of being discontinued. As you know, every year Apple releases new phones and software. So when they do so, phones tend to get cut because they're simply not strong enough anymore. They're too old, and Apple can't make them run efficiently on the latest software that they're planning to release. So more than likely, they will just cut it. So the 11 is your best chance to stay in the loop when it comes to software this year. You have probably a 30% chance that Apple will cut the phone completely. So if you buy an iPhone 11, you'll at least have a year left, at least a year before Apple kills the phone, and you'll have to upgrade to get security and software features. Now, as for the 10R and the 10S Max, these phones, I'm going to go ahead and say now, the 10R I think is a no-go. This phone was never really good even when it came out. It's made of plastic. It's really budget and not in a good way. Like the screen here is sub 720p, so it's not as sharp. It's just not a good phone to get. So I definitely recommend just avoiding the 10R series at all costs if you can. Just spend the extra money to go to the 11, or save a little money and go to the 10S. But just be aware that this phone definitely, for sure, these two phones here, definitely for sure are going to get cut. In my opinion, they're going to get cut in the June announcement of their software. iOS 18 is presumably the name, but that happens every June. And on that announcement, Apple will announce what phones are being supported and what aren't. I am pretty certain the 10S, the 10R, and maybe even the 11, but for sure these two, they are going to get cut from iOS 18. They're pretty old now, so they've been around for a while. I don't think they're strong enough to keep iOS 18 running smoothly, so they're probably going to cut it. So if you really need a phone, and I don't know, let's say your relative or your friend has an extra one, use it. You have at least, 6 months. But I think if you're gonna spend money, go for the 11, because you have time, at least a year, to use it and get your money's worth. These two phones here are good, they're capable, but they're going to get cut. So I don't think you should spend money on it. If you have a friend or relative that has a 10S or a 10R, then get it and use it. Take advantage of it, but don't spend money on it. It's going to get cut in September, and you'll be wasting your time because you'll then have to buy another one to get the updates that you need. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Another phone I should suggest you avoid is the mini series. So the 12 mini and the 13 mini, I believe. Those phones are already disconned. They don't make them anymore. The battery life is okay. If you need a small phone, I would just recommend going for the SE2 and I presume the SE3. But get those phones if you need a small phone, because they're up to date. They will be supported longer. They're not discontinued, so if something breaks on it, you can get it repaired. But the 12 mini and 13 mini, I definitely recommend staying away from, because Apple already doesn't support them officially. Well, they do support them, but they're not. They're trying to get rid of them. They're discontinued, so just avoid those phones. But if you have any other questions on what phones to get, let me know, and I'll walk you through it. But I definitely recommend staying away from these two. And the iPhone 11 is a good buy if you want. Just keep in mind that you have less than 2 years for sure before that phone gets disconnected. But it's a capable phone, so if you want to save money, definitely do so. And of course, these three models, well, technically four: the 13, 14 I don't have, the 12, and the 15. These are good buys if you need them. If you need to save money, then go cheaper, the 12. If you don't care, then the 15 obviously. But these phones are good. You have more than 2 years easy for all of these. So if you buy it now, you'll be able to use it many years later. So get the most out of it. And they're probably cheap by now because they're so old. You can find them for a good discount. So that's my buying guide for the 2024. I think you should be good off on that. And like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. But I hope this helped you. And if it did, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it will help me out a ton. And I will catch you on the next one. Peace.